Hello, good afternoon, everyone, or this is good evening because it is 4:30 p.m. Nigerian time. So good evening, everyone, and how are we doing today? Today, we are going to talk about the insecurity situation in Imo State. There are so many things that we are going to look into, very, very important. We also have a guest from Imo State who is an indigenous of Imo State, living there in Imo State, is going to tell us what is going on. There are so many things going on in Nigeria that people are no longer talking about. And let me tell you, what you are going to hear today about the insecurity in Imo State, I call it war. Imo State at war. What we are going to hear today about what is going on in Imo State is going to shock you. But you know what? When I was growing up, I used to see Southeast as a place of safe haven. And, you know, we used to attend marriages in the Southeast. When I'm seeing the rich cultures and everything, I fell in love with the beauty of those areas. So we are going to look into today what went wrong, what really went wrong. That's what we're going to talk about. The question I'm asking is what went wrong in the Southeast? Some person said that it is because of the agitation. Some person says it's because of the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu. But there is something Uzodimma, the governor of Imo State, said. You know what? He did not indict the IPOB and so on and so forth. What he said is going to shock you. So stay. The insecurity situation in Nigeria is so complicated. When I mean it's so complicated, it's more complicated than devil itself. In the sense that everything that happens, politicians would like to blame it on people who are agitating. Politicians would like to shift it to people who are vulnerable. But I have a new story about insecurity in Nigeria, from the north to the south, east to the west. Politicians have been indicted because they are the causes of insecurity, either in the north, in the south, in the southeast. They are the major causes of insecurity. And I think they are responsible for this Imo State at war. Now, how many of you remember when Nnamdi Kanu made this statement in the courtroom when he said that politicians are the ones sponsoring the insecurity in the southeast?
And they're doing it because I'm in DSS. That's why even I said no idiots can try this rubbish, and they know it very well. They know it very well. And I suspect that some people in government are complicit. They are making money with insecurity. They are making money with it. They know now the Kanu is outside. In 2 minutes, this nonsense will stop. Who is the idiot? Who is the bagger? That will speak when I'm talking. Who is the fool? Who is the idiot? I ask. That I give an order in the east, and any idiot will counter it. Who is the bastard? I'm asking you. Nobody can.
Sir, are you
I'm not the Kanu. No. Who is the idiot?
No, don't. No.
What is it?
Can you tell us the ongoing killings in
the... Now, this is a very important information that people did not digest very well. Nnamdi Kanu just make a very important point that people did not digest well. That insecurity in the southeast are caused by politicians. Mark the word, politicians. Now, Before I will bring a guest who is going to tell us what is going on in Imo State today, why there is war in Imo State and no one is talking about the war in Imo State right now, I am going to show you some evidence to tell you that politicians are responsible for what is going on in the Southeast. Politicians are responsible for what is going on in Imo State. Now, let me take you back to the governor himself, the governor of Imo State. There is something he said. Let me take you back to
the reason behind this. I told you times without number in Imo State. Some of the cases of banditry here are politically contrived. Some are the real attacks by bandits. So I think that the kind of politics with bitterness that is going on in the state and some part of this region should really be condemned. And that is why we have decided to embark on.
Now, you will watch this Uzodimma video to the end. I want you to pick points. Everything he said, I want you to pick the point. Shehu Okebandoye of Channels Television was asking him, to you, Uzodimma, what do you think that it is the cause or the causes of insecurity in the South? He said, first of all, it is because of politics of bitterness. In other words, politicians are responsible for what is going on. That is from the mouth of the governor of Imo State. Remember that I am not saying anything. I'm just letting you know what is going on. Okay, watch the video to the end. Let's start at
the reason behind this.
Where the video started.
I told you times without number in Imo State. Some of the cases of banditry here are politically contrived. Some are the real attacks by bandits. So I think that the kind of politics with bitterness that is going on in the state and some part of this region should really be condemned. And that is why we have decided to embark on both kinetic and non-kinetic approach.
Is there any reason, perhaps AIG or yourself as a government in Imo State discovered behind the direct assault on security agents or agencies or the Nigerian police force in Imo State? Any reason behind that? Why are they doing that?
Well, it is not limited to Imo State alone. Of course, you can see the wave of banditry across the country today. There's banditry in the northern part of the country, banditry in the southern part of the country, banditry also in the eastern part of the country. But there are peculiarities state by state. Some of these crimes are being supported. Recall that 2 years ago when this thing started in Imo State, when the bandits attack police stations, as they're leaving from the scene of crime, people will be clapping for them. People will be laughing with them. So the people took this thing as if it was a kind of entertainment. But incrementally, lives were lost. Incrementally, assets were destroyed. Incrementally, police stations were destroyed and burnt down. Individual homes. Some targeted politicians were also, their houses were burnt. So we took personal interest to begin to investigate the reason behind this. I told you times without number in Imo State. Some of the cases of banditry here are politically contrived. Some are the real attacks by bandits. So I think that the kind of politics with bitterness that is going on in the state and some part of this region should really be condemned. And that is why we have decided to embark on both kinetic and non-kinetic approach. We've engaged the community leaders, we've engaged the vigilante approach, we've engaged people into dialogue, getting traditional rulers to embark on reconciliation, address the political grievances of some politicians who have not been able to manage the defeat or losses they got from the last election. So, but we are on it. I think we are getting close to a final solution to the issue of banditry and kidnapping and all these sorts of crimes in Imo State.
So, I mean, you mentioned, a few times we've spoken about this, an interview with us here, you said that some of these things are politically backed. And for tonight, we would like you to clarify to us. You've mentioned bandits, sometimes unknown gunmen, terrorists. What exactly are the major issues here in Imo State? Is it the case of bandits linked to the northwestern region of the country, or terrorists, the Boko Haram that we see in some parts of the country, or the unknown gunmen that are peculiar to the southeastern region, or in Imo State, it's just pure politics and brigandage that is involved here?
Well, all these jargons came from people like you, whether they are called unknown gunmen, whether they are called bandits, whether they are called armed robbers or kidnappers. The fact still remains that the common denominator is that people are being killed, assets are being destroyed, violence is being encouraged. So all we are saying, even the Nigerian military has decided even to reform their curriculum to now bring experts that will now teach our soldiers, our security agencies of this modern kind of crime that was not here before this time. So everybody, we were all taken on our ways. But the good news is that we have risen to the occasion. So we are now going to address the issues. One thing we've not gotten from 1999 to today is how to manage political defeats. Our democracy is highly threatened because of that. People are not doing politics with the spirit of sportsmanship as it is practiced in other climes. People are so bitter when they're not able to have their way, and they can go to any length.
Okay, let me stop this video here. Now, if you have taken time to listen to what Uzodimma, the governor of Imo State, is saying, he's now saying that the insecurity in Imo State, he's hinting that it is political. I really want people to know what this man is saying, that it is political. He was talking about politics of bitterness. He was talking that all these things are politically inclined and so on and so forth. Now, for those of you who might not believe what Uzodimma is saying, because before I made series of video indicting Nigerian politicians that they are the sponsor, the creator, and the people who are making sure that this insecurity is going on the increment. Every year, every month, every day, insecurity in Nigeria is increasing. Now, I have played this video time without number. You must have seen it before, where the commissioner of police from Zamfara State was telling us that they arrested politicians who are bandits and so on and so forth. So I am trying to connect the dots for you to understand what Uzodimma is saying, that politicians are the major people who are causing the insecurity. And this policeman, commissioner of police, Zamfara State, also confirmed that.
We can say now banditry is an industry in Zamfara State. Last month, we arrested a member of the State House of Assembly in banditry here in Zamfara State. We arrested a district head we also as well arrested a former local government chairman. So you can see that involvement of this class of people in banditry is more making the situation to become more and more complex. So in essence, I can say that all caliber of people now are involved. All manner of people are involved in this banditry. More alarming and more disturbing is the involvement of a district head in supplying drugs to the bandits. So in that respect, your presence here today, we can say now banditry is an industry in Zamfara State.
You know the reason why I played this video to you? Because it is connecting to what Uzodimma was saying. I really want people to understand what is going on in Nigeria, that politicians are the one doing all these things. When Ibrahim Traore is saying that we don't have politicians or Democrats in West Africa, that they are dictators, this is what he's talking about. So you can now connect the dots and understand what is going on, but they will tell you that, oh, it is IPOB, it is this, it is that. So at this moment, I want to bring to life one of our brother from Imo State. He decided to stay, you know, how would I put it now, anonymous to the public. He don't want to show his face. If not, I supposed to bring him on the screen here so that people will listen to him and see him as he is talking. But he really want to talk about what is going on in Imo State, and he said he will only do it through a phone call. Let me put it in that way. So, good evening, our brother. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Okocha.
If you don't mind, you can tell us your name and a little bit introduction. Nobody knows you. A lot of people answer the same name as you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So talk to us. What is your name?
My name is Ebuka.
Okay, Ebuka. Thanks for joining us from Imo State. Imo State, as they said, is at war, but nobody is seeing it on media. Nobody is even, all this mainstream media, the channels, television, their Rise News and so on and so forth, nobody's covering what is going on in Imo State. Now, can you tell us what is going on in Imo State, just from the beginning, everything you know and everything you have been experiencing, because you are now a witness, because you are on ground, you know everything that is going on. So talk to us.
Good evening, everyone. Before I start, I want to make something known to everyone.
Okay. We can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Before I start, I want to say that I'm not a security analyst.
Okay.
Neither I'm a political analyst.
Okay.
I'm only a citizen of Imo State.
Okay.
Born and grew up in Imo State, and I'm still residing here in Imo State.
Okay. In other words, you know everything about Imo State.
Apparently, yes. I started participating in elections 2011, so
okay.
At least I'm conscious of when it comes to politics in Imo State. At least I can say something about it.
All right. What is going on in Imo State?
But what is going on in Imo State is what is going on in the Southeast entirely. And what do I mean by that? Let me use Imo State as an example. When you talk about insecurity in Southeast and Imo State, you ask yourself, when did all these things start? When did the insecurity start? When did you start experiencing insecurity? And mind you, before what we know as insecurity in Imo State is kidnapping or maybe bank robbery, which has occurred a few times in Imo State. But the level of which it is now, my brother, I won't really say is insecurity, is war. There is war going on the whole of East and Imo State in particular.
Now, you said there is a war going on in the Southeast and Imo State in particular. I keep on asking the question, why is it that all this thing is not on the social media?
I can't tell why it's not on social media. Maybe people are scared to show their face, or maybe to circulate what is happening to the people. But for me to even talk to you, it takes courage for me to even talk to you. Are you getting me? And why I have the effrontery to talk to you, because I've seen you align with my kind of mentality and the way you see things.
Okay.
Because the entity we are all living in called Nigeria is never a country, is never a nation, and we who are supposed to be the citizens are not citizens. Forget about the definition of citizen. We are not citizens of Nigeria, because you need to be in a country or a nation before you regard yourself as a citizen of that country. We are never, especially the people of the Igbos.
All right. What is the
word? People of the Igbos are not citizens of Nigeria.
Yeah. What is the nature of the war going on in Imo State? Talk to us.
Okay. Insecurity is at its peak now in Imo State because of 2019 governorship election.
Okay.
Whereby Emeka Ihodo won the election.
Okay.
Landslide. He won the election landslide. Everybody know about it.
Okay.
He ruled Imo State for 7 months before the power that be from above, from Abuja, decided to do what they know how to do best.
And hand over power to Uzodimma.
Yeah, because they needed a stooge who will answer to what they want them to do. I'm sorry to say this, Uzodimma is not a governor of Imo State. He's a stooge of the Fulanis. We don't have
the federal government. The federal government.
Yes. I won't say federal government. I'll say Fulani. I will say federal government.
But Yoruba man is the president. Why would you say Fulanis?
Because Yoruba man is the president, but Yorubas to me said don't even know what is going on. Even in Nigeria, they claim they are ruling.
Okay, go on.
Don't know what is going
on. Go on with what you are saying.
Yeah. So the insecurity started when Emeka Ihodo was pushed out from office and replaced with someone that came fourth. I'm not saying third or second, fourth. But that one is by the way. So this man now believe that the insecurity in Imo State is political. I just laugh at him, not because he's lying, because of the people listening to him don't know what
he's talking about.
He's talking about. Are you getting me?
Okay.
2015, my brother, I was opportune. I'm not an IPOB member. I'm only a concerned citizen of my motherland. 2015, I was privileged to see the people of IPOB marching on the streets of Sowore with flags. You can Google it. You can Google it. Not only in Sowore, all the whole part of Eastern region. They march with the flag. They sing their song. They march, walk. Nobody harassed them because then it was Okocha who was in power then. Nobody harassed them. So when this man entered, Uzodimma, who never won the election, just because the Fulanis wanted him to serve as a stooge for them because of what is about to come. Because they have believed and see what Nnamdi is fighting for. They knew that they cannot beat Nnamdi in his own game. So they needed someone who will dance with their tune anytime they want. And Uzodimma is the perfect person to do that. And he's doing it and he's denying it. I just want to tell Uzodimma one thing. Power does not last forever.
Honest truth.
I was around when Okocha was in power.
Okay.
He thought he might be there forever. I know his own shenanigans in power, so Rochas Okocha. I know his own shenanigans and his own. But today, Rochas Okocha is someone that can drive his motor to an occasion all alone. Imagine. He can drive to an occasion all alone. His in-law, who is what is his in-law self? I don't know. It didn't just skip my mind. Can now walk alone with just 1 or 2 vehicles without being harmed. That is to show you that power does not last forever. For if hope should think that power that he has today will last forever, it's a lie. IPOB is a peaceful organization registered in the UK, pioneered by Marcel. The history of Biafra did not start today. It started way back at 1967, which you yourself, you know about it. That is why sometimes when I call on your program, I feel so bitter because I don't know why Nigerians are playing blind to what is obvious, but decide to chase shadows.
Okay.
Igbos were massacred, starved to death. Millions of my ancestors were starved to death, and nobody is talking about it. The same thing our ancestors saw 50-something years ago. It's still the same thing Nigeria is trying to gain today. And what is that? Freedom.
That is right.
Everybody wants freedom. That's why when I started this, I say that I'm not a citizen of Nigeria because Nigeria is not a country. It's not even a nation. Because you need to be in a country or a nation before you start telling yourself you're a citizen. That is why sometimes when our people that are overseas, are you getting me? You don't just go to a country and you become a citizen. There are criteria before you become a citizen of that particular entity. So that is to tell you that it takes something for you to be a citizen of a country. And we're not citizens.
Now, what is causing this war, the killings in Imo State, that so many people are not talking about? Are you there? Okay, I can hear you now. What is causing the war? That is, I really want to go into the deep of the battle. What is going on? What is causing the war?
The word war, W-A-R. I don't know if people really grasp the meaning of that W-A-R.
Okay.
The word war is the same and the same meaning in the whole world. Like the war you're having between Russia and Ukraine,
Israel and Hamas.
Yes, that is war. And that is the same war. That is the same war that is happening in Imo State right now. Second Biafra Nigerian war. And mind you, this war did not start now. Nigeria has been fighting this war since even after 1970.
Wait a minute. You mean what is going on in Imo State now is the second Biafra and Nigerian war, right?
Yes, capital letter.
Okay, continue.
And this war has been going on since even after the Biafran Nigerian Civil War of 1970. Now, Imo land is the only region where you see checkpoints like, I don't know how to describe it. Checkpoint is like street light in the east here. From here to here, either you see military, you see police, or you see navy, or you see all manner of forces on the road. And what are these people doing? They are extorting money from the motorists. They are extorting money from citizens. To the extent that this, my brothers, I'm talking to you. I prefer to run into the hands of kidnappers than to run into the hands of Nigerian police and army.
Why? Pause on a minute. You said it is better for you to run into the hands of kidnappers than to run into the hands of the Nigerian police in Imo State. Can you explain more so that people will understand what you are saying?
Why not? I will.
All right.
I've been a victim of police brutality for several times.
Okay.
Me, I'm talking personally, me. And I've witnessed police and army brutalizing my fellow citizens in my own presence.
Okay.
Without any author of provocation.
Okay. People would say, excuse me, sir, people would say that this police brutality, that it is something that is holistic in Nigeria. That was the reason why the NSAT protest was nationwide, because police used to brutalize everybody in Nigeria. What is the difference between the general brutalization and that of Imo State?
The difference between that is that in Imo State, when a policeman sees you he sees you as a young man, maybe you're having an iPhone, or maybe you're looking nice, or you dress nice, my brother has become a suspect.
Serious?
You have become automatic a suspect.
A suspect of what? A suspect of what?
To them, you're a criminal.
Okay.
To them, you're a criminal. Either they plant marijuana in your pocket, incriminate you, or they call you Yahoo boy and tag you that name. Just like that.
Why is it more on rampage in Imo State? Why?
To me, I believe why it's like that is because the government in Imo State is not the government of the people, and they don't care. But I believe that the governor is the chief security of every state. So the government of Imo State is not the government of the people. So that is what I believe. So everybody is doing what they can do to intimidate whosoever they want to intimidate, and nothing will happen. My brother, like I told you, if you dress well as a young guy, maybe you have dreads, you look fine, my brother, you're a suspect to them. But these people, what they will do, they will stop you. You enter their van. They will start interrogating you.
Okay.
That you're a Yahoo boy, or you're this.
Okay.
They will not ask you to. They will ask you to pay maybe 1 million naira. Their target is not 1 million. Maybe the target is like 200 or 300. And these people, because of the mindset of every individual and indigenous of my state had as a young guy, these people can kill you and label you IPOB, and nobody will talk about you. So we have this mindset that when we have this engagement with Nigerian police or Nigerian army, the only thing that at the back of your mind is that anything can happen to you and nothing will happen. So
now, you made a point now again that I want you to touch more. You said Nigerian police can see an ordinary citizen and kill the person and label the person an IPOB member. That is an extrajudicial killing. They will just name you that you are an IPOB member, they will kill you, and you are just an ordinary citizen. How is that happening and no one is talking about it?
Because people choose not to talk about it because we are not living in a country. I keep saying it. We are not living in a country. It is not a country. It is just a jungle. Survive as you can survive. There is no freedom of speech. There is no freedom of speech in Nigeria.
All right. Let us go back to last week. Last week, some persons called me. They told me that there was a gun battle that lasted almost 3 days. I mean, a gun battle that lasted in 3 days between the policemen and other people. They did not tell me whom the people are. Why is it that a gun battle lasted in Imo State up to 3 days and none of the mainstream media reported it and everybody just playing along as if nothing is going on? Since you are in Imo State, can you tell us what happened?
My brother, what happened last week is just a chess play of what is about to happen.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You said what happened in last week is a child's play to what is about to happen.
Yes.
Now you have a two responses here. Tell us what happened last week and tell us why you said what happened last week is a child's play to what is about to happen.
What happened last week, my brother? If you know where Imo State, you said you have been to Sowore before, right?
I have been to Sowore, I've been to Mbise. I know Imo. When I mean I know Imo State, I know Imo State very well.
There was a time, an attack at the prisons. I don't know if you heard about that. That was last year.
Yes, I heard about the attack in the prison, yes.
Do you know that this attack lasted for more than an hour?
Yes, I know.
There was a prison break.
Yes, I know.
Who was behind it?
I don't really know.
Your government.
You mean the federal government or the state government were behind the prison break and the prison attack?
Nigeria government and Imo State government, they work hand in hand. My brother, for this prison is just sharing a fence. It's sharing a fence with police headquarters.
Oh, the prison is sharing a fence with the police headquarters.
Yes, my brother.
Okay.
And this thing lasted for hours. Shooting lasted for hours, but there was no repel or nothing. Even up till now, up till now, no news about that. And this happened at the heart of Imo State. At the heart of Imo State, and nothing happened. Who is behind it? The same government. The same government is behind it. Because they are the chief security. So if something can happen and up to now, nothing is being said about it. A lot is happening in the country that many people don't even know about it.
All right. Why do you say that worse is about to happen? Are you planning for it, or you are predicting? Why do you say so?
My brother, why I say so is that I'm a student of news, you know.
Okay.
I'm a kind of person that each time I come back home, I move around social media to see what happened.
Okay.
I know what is happening in Gaza and what's happening in Israel. I know what is happening in Nigeria today. Like I told you, like one time I called, I asked you, have you visited Simon Ekpa's page? Have you visited Simon Ekpa's page?
Sometimes people used to send me his videos sometimes.
People used to tell you his videos sometimes, yeah. Mm. If you go to that guy's page, I've been following that guy since 2022. When after they arrested Marcel Nnamdi, I saw the spirit of Marcel Nnamdi in Simon Ekpa. Nobody told me. I started following him. And I've been following him up to today.
So what happens to his page?
You said what? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, what happened to his page? It's like you wanted to tell me something about his page.
Yeah. Go to Simon Ekpa's page. You understand that Nigeria is at war. And you people are not even paying attention why the chief of defense and chief of army is calling Simon Ekpa. Do you think it's just an main name? You think it's ordinary name?
Why do you think they are calling? Why do you think they are calling him? Because he's leading a movement.
Simon Ekpa is another savior after Marcel Nnamdi. And why do I say so? Simon Ekpa is a savior after Marcel Nnamdi. That all of us are breathing today now, most of us are breathing today, is because of the contribution of that young man. And why do I say so? These people which are Fulani, that's why I keep calling Fulani. I don't even want to call federal government, I call Fulanis. Because these people have an agenda.
It's better you call the federal government. It's a better way to put it. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Let me say, federal government. There is an agenda to Islamize Nigeria, and there is an agenda to eliminate the Igbo tribe. Before Simon Ekpa took the leadership of IPOB, that is now Biafra Republic government in exile. Biafra have republic. I have a government in exile. I don't know if you're aware of that. Are you aware that Biafra has an army now? Are you aware of that? Are you aware that Simon Ekpa has a template according to him to actualize Biafra? Are you aware of that? And one of his templates, one of the current templates now is to lock down every government institution in Biafra land.
You think that will not bring? You think that will not bring more insecurity?
We talk about insecurity, my brother. We're already in insecurity already. You say if that is not insecurity, we're already in insecurity already.
You already at the war.
Yes, whatever that happens now is just part of the war. There is no difference. There is nothing that will happen in Imo State now that will be a new thing.
What do you think that will be the solution to it?
A solution. Do you really think Nigeria has a solution? I'm sorry for asking you this question, but do you really believe that Nigeria has a solution, brother?
From my own personal experience, I will tell you categorically no. And I have a reason why I say so.
And I'm happy that you're not aligning with me, because I could remember there was a time I called on your program before this protest that happened. I told you that you are not going to accomplish anything from this protest.
I said we are going to accomplish some things. We are accomplishing some things is different with the current Nigerian government having a solution. The current Nigerian government and the system we have today has no solution. That is what I mean.
Okay. You're asking about the solution. The only solution to all these things is to have a people's vote constitution. And what will be inside the constitution? A referendum.
Yeah.
So that people will have choice to determine who they want to associate with.
And where to live and where to belong to.
Everything happening in Nigeria, nobody will tell me that he or she doesn't know the solution. Everybody knows the solution. Nigeria is not one. Nigeria is not one. Nigeria does not love itself. There is no love. There is no unity. So how are we going to survive it?
Majority of the political elites, they are now succumbing to regionalism. They are now succumbing that if Nigeria should have the regional government like they have before, that things are going to be fine. Would that solve the problem in Imo State? Since the problem in Imo State, from what you are describing and narrating to us, that this so-called war now in Imo State that people are not talking about, that it is caused by the governor, especially when the Supreme Court declared him as the governor when he came out forth, and right from that time, the insecurity in Imo State increased, coupled with the detention of Nnamdi Kanu, how politicians are leveraging on it to cause insecurity. So when maybe we eventually go into a regional, don't you think that someone like Uzodimma must have a mass weight on himself? He have boys as a former governor and so on and so forth. Then don't you think this person will still on the ground to cause insecurity?
Well, do you think we are fighting for regionalism?
No.
We are not fighting for regionalism.
Yes.
We are fighting for total breakup from Nigeria, like total breakup from Nigeria.
But
it doesn't matter what it takes. It doesn't matter what it takes.
Yeah, but it is the same question. I want you to answer that question. Even though you said total breakup today, very good, and of which I will tell you, majority of people want it. That is the truth. Majority of people want it. So how will you people, because what you are telling me now, not only what you are telling me, I played a video of Uzodimma here. He was saying it is because of political bitterness. And the political bitterness he's talking about could be connected that he came out forth during the election and Supreme Court declared him winner. And people are not angry. People are now angry that he is there. That maybe that could be the political bitterness he's talking about. Do you think that this man and his boys will leave your state even though you now have your own country?
Okocha, my brother, when you talk about insecurity and you hear what Uzodimma is talking about, do you expect Uzodimma to say that is war?
No.
Are you expecting to tell you?
He will not say so.
To say that is war. Uzodimma has been working with Nigerian army, bombing villages in Imo State, killing their own his own citizens in Imo State. Uzodimma is the only governor in the whole of Nigeria that can direct the Ezes, that is the traditional rulers, to take their sons or their children to vacate a particular place that he will go and bomb it.
Serious?
He's on internet. Go and search the video. He's telling them to tell their children to vacate where this Sabanepa's boys, which is Nnamdi Liberation Army, they have their own base. In all the whole regions in Imo State. We have Sowore zone, we have Okigwe zone, we have Olu zone. Uzodimma and Nigerian military has been fighting war till today, as I'm talking to you since today.
All right. Now, if the federal government said they want to conduct a referendum today, do you think that we automatically solve the problem in the southeast, especially in Imo State, because we are talking about the current war in Imo State?
Yes, my brother. My people are people that we value human life. Okocha, my people, I don't even know if there's any other people that are like that, but I'm talking for myself. My people can sell land just to have a burial. My people can borrow money just to have a burial. That is to tell you how we value human life. I believe me. Yes, I know there's some disgruntled elements amongst us. But when it comes to value of life, we value life. My brother, give Igbos a nation today. If you hear about insecurity anywhere in Igbo land, know that it's fiction or maybe movie.
All right. Now we are going to go a little break. When we come back, we are going to talk about the release of Nnamdi Kanu, which is about to happen. How it is going to affect this current war in Imo State, how it will make it to stop. And we are still going to talk more about why people are not televising what is going on, the insecurity, this war in Imo State, why people are not talking about it. So in few minutes, viewers will be back and talk about all these things.
The reason
for now,
this,
listen to Hope Uzodimma.
I told you times without number in Imo State. Some of the cases of banditry here are politically contrived. Some are the real attacks by bandits. So I think that the kind of politics with bitterness that is going on in the state and some part of this region should really be condemned. And that is why we have decided to embark on both kinetic and non-kinetic approach.
Is there any reason, perhaps AIG or yourself as a government in Imo State discovered behind the direct assault on security agents or agencies or the Nigerian police force in Imo State? Any reason behind that? Why are they doing that?
Well, it is not limited to Imo State alone. Of course, you can see the wave of banditry across the country today. There's banditry in the northern part of the country, banditry in the southern part of the country, banditry also in the eastern part of the country. But there are peculiarities state by state. Some of these crimes are being supported. Recall that 2 years ago when this thing started in Imo State, when the bandits attack police stations, as they're leaving from the scene of crime, people will be clapping for them. People will be laughing with them. So the people took this thing as if it was a kind of entertainment. But incrementally, lives were lost. Incrementally, assets were destroyed. Incrementally, police stations were destroyed and burnt down. Individual homes, some targeted politicians were also, their houses were burnt. So we took personal interest to begin to investigate the reason behind this. I told you times without number in Imo State. Some of the cases of banditry here are politically contrived. Some are the real attacks by bandits. So I think that the kind of politics with bitterness that is going on in the state and some part of this region should really be condemned. And that is why we have decided to embark on both kinetic and non-kinetic approach. We've engaged the community leaders, we've engaged the vigilante approach, we've engaged people into dialogue, getting traditional rulers to embark on reconciliation, address the political grievances of some politicians who have not been able to manage the defeat or losses they got from the last election. So, but we are on it. I think we are getting close to a final solution to the issue of banditry and kidnapping and all these sorts of crimes in Imo State.
So, I mean, you mentioned, a few times we've spoken about this in an interview with us here. You've said that some of these things are politically backed. And for tonight, we would like you to clarify to us. You've mentioned bandits, sometimes unknown gunmen, terrorists. What exactly are the major issues here in Imo State? Is it the case of bandits linked to the northwestern region of the country, or terrorists, the Boko Haram that we see in some parts of the country, or the unknown gunmen that are peculiar to the southeastern region, or in Imo State, it's just pure politics and brigandage that is involved here?
Well, all these jargons came from people like you, whether they are called unknown gunmen, whether they are called bandits, whether they are called armed robbers or kidnappers. The fact still remains that the common denominator is that people are being killed, assets are being destroyed, violence is being encouraged. So all we are saying, even the Nigerian military has decided even to reform their curriculum to now bring experts that will now teach our soldiers, our security agencies of this modern kind of crime that was not here before this time. So everybody, we were all taken on unawares. But the good news is that we have risen to the occasion. So we are now going to address the issues. One thing we've not gotten from 1990 to today is how to manage political defeats. Our democracy is highly threatened because of that. People are not doing politics with the spirit of sportsmanship as it is practiced in other climes. People are so bitter when they're not able to have their way. And they can go to any length to make sure that individual interests or personal interests are achieved. But I think that gradually we are coming to terms with the realities of the time.
Now, I mean, when you say this in Imo State, the peculiarity is about politics of bitterness. Have you been able to come around to those who are perhaps behind all of these, maybe identify the players or the perpetrators or those behind it? Have you been able to do that? When you say that you are coming to a very point to solving it permanently, what exactly do you mean?
Well, what I mean is that the investigation in some of these cases have gotten to advanced stage. And what you want to get tonight may not be possible because some of these matters are still being investigated by security agencies. By the time they come up with their final reports, it will be made public to all of us. And that time, you may be able to know the identities of some of those behind the banditry in Imo State. The reason behind this, I told you times without number, in Imo State, some of the cases of banditry here are politically contrived. Some are the real attacks by bandits. So I think that the kind of politics with bitterness that is going on in the state and some part of this region should really be condemned. And that is why we have decided to embark on both kinetic and non-kinetic approach.
Is there any reason, perhaps AIG or yourself as a government in Imo State discovered behind the direct assault on security agents or agencies or the Nigerian police force in Imo State? Any reason behind that? Why are they doing that?
Well, it is not limited to Imo State alone. Of course, you can see the wave of banditry across the country today. There's banditry in the northern part of the country, banditry in the southern part of the country, banditry also in the eastern part of the country. But there are peculiarities state by state. Some of these crimes are being supported. Recall that 2 years ago when this thing started in Imo State, when the bandits attack police stations, as they're leaving from the scene of crime, people will be clapping for them. People will be laughing with them. So the people took this thing as if it was a kind of entertainment. But incrementally, lives were lost. Incrementally, assets were destroyed. Incrementally, police stations were destroyed and burnt down. Individual homes. Some targeted politicians their houses were burnt. So we took personal interest to begin to investigate the reason behind this. I told you times without number, in Imo State, some of the cases of banditry here are politically contrived. Some are the real attacks by bandits. So I think that the kind of politics with bitterness that is going on in the state and some part of this region should really be condemned. And that is why we have decided to embark on both kinetic and non-kinetic approach.
All right, thank you so much for staying tuned. Now, let us bring back our guest who is talking to us about what is going on in Imo State. So I think you must have listened to Hope Uzodinma, what Hope Uzodimma is saying about what is going on in Imo State. And Hope Uzodimma is making us to understand that this is more political than we think. A lot of people have been calling so many groups here and there. But with the revelation of Hope Uzodimma, I am quite fully aware that this is more political. Like what that the Commissioner of Police said in Zamfara State, that it was the politician who was sponsoring the bandits and so on and so forth. So I am not seeing a different thing from what Uzodimma is saying. So we are welcoming back our guests, and now I want to ask a direct question to you, sir. Do you think that if Nnamdi Kanu is released, as they have projected next month being September, that it is going to affect directly this war going on in Imo State to stop?
I hope I'm coming out.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, my brother. I doubt it must not be released this year. And I will tell you why.
Okay, why?
Nnamdi Kanu is a prisoner of conscience. You know?
That we know.
Nigerian government has nothing against him. Even the Nigerian court has discharged and acquitted him. Even his rendition from Kenya is an international law, which Nigeria is a signatory to, and which makes it a Nigerian law. But Nigeria violated it. Nigeria violated her own law to release a free man. And let me tell you why I said that Nnamdi Kanu will not be released. They are using Nnamdi Kanu to play game, and I love what Simon Ekpa is playing. Simon Ekpa is playing that game with them. Let's see how it goes. Simon Ekpa is playing that game. They want to use. They are using Nnamdi Kanu to play.
Which kind of game?
But I tell you, there's Nigerian Biafra war going on right now.
Okay.
Are you not aware? There is not. Let me repeat it. There is Biafra Nigerian second civil war going on today.
Okay.
Today until tomorrow, till whenever Nigeria feel that they are tired. Yes. Nnamdi Kanu will not be released. If he is being released, maybe Nigerian government is tired of Simon Ekpa, because Simon Ekpa is the one giving them the headache. Simon Ekpa is giving them the headache, brother. There is war going on. I keep saying it. I don't know how Nigerians will understand it. There's second Biafra Nigerian war going on. Heavy battle going on. And Simon Ekpa has made it open and clear. Go to Twitter and you see it. Very soon, all the whole Nigeria institute will be shut down. Both government houses.
The governor of Enugu State, Peter Mba, said that Simon Ekpa is the one causing the insecurity, and he wants him to be repatriated to Nigeria. That is what he stated. That is his own opinion. Do you think the governor is right to what he said?
Brother, you as a human being with common sense, we know that that is rubbish. How can you want to rendition a citizen of Finland to Nigeria? How is it possible? That's a word of a drunkard. They can never do something. Marcel Nnamdi Kanu has laid a foundation for Marcel Simon Ekpa to follow.
What do you think is the solution to this current crisis and this current problem?
First of all, Nigerians need to be aware of what is happening. First, they need, but I believe they're not aware. And
they are not aware. Honestly, they are not aware of what is going on. And that is why myself, I'm still surprised.
They are not aware because they don't care to be aware. Have you not asked yourself, Nigerians asked themselves, why is federal government talking about Simon Ekpa? That the whole Senate House, a whole Senate president will say Simon Ekpa is not the governor of South. Do you think that's the? I don't understand how Nigerians are reasoning. The people that call themselves Nigerians, how can a whole ordinary someone in Finland is being debated in the floor of the Senate, and you think there is nothing going on? Since how many years now, Simon Ekpa is not yet being repatriated back to Nigeria? You think it's a coincidence? Up to now, Simon Ekpa posts videos of security men being killed in the South. Do you think it's a coincidence? And he's claiming
my own point here is that the real people are dying. The citizens are dying. The innocent people are dying. How do we stop this? How do we stop this?
But the only solution is to just let everyone go. If Ekpa wants to go,
in what ways do you intend them to go? Because You knew what happened before when that thing wanted to happen. Up to 3 million people died.
My brother, 3 million will not die again now. If Nigeria is betting on it that 3 million again or 5 million will die now, is Nigeria going to be the opposite? Because mentally, the Igbos who witnessed the genocide against our people in 1967 and 1970, even up to today, Nigerians, my brother, I promise myself that I'm not going to get angry or upset in this program, but if I remember,
you don't have to. You don't have to, so that you will.
Yes, I feel so upset. My brother, do you know how many IPOB members have been killed by Nigerian military and police in the open up to today? Nothing has been done about it. They were killed in Okocha, Port Harcourt. Wike bragged about it. They were killed in their hundreds. Wike bragged about it. They were killed at Umpo, Abia State. Federal government brag about it. They were killed in Nnamdi Kanu's house. Are they not citizens? Don't they have rights?
They have right, and Supreme Court condemned that.
It's not okay. It's only condemning, just condemning. When souls has been lost just because they are asking for their fundamental human right. We want a nation of our own. Their crime is just to be shoot as my brother. They don't want me well to wear anything Biafra on the road.
It's serious like that.
Before I do that, I will go and say farewell to my family. First of all, because leave if Nigerian army or police gets hands off you, you are gone forever. Do you know that now, my brother? Do you know that now in Imo State, the one I know, do you know that the police can threaten you that you're an IPOB member just to stop money from you? They will tell you in your presence, give us money, or else we profile you IPOB member. And whenever they profile you IPOB member, that you forget it, you are gone. You are gone forever. Like you are gone forever. You are gone forever. That is what is happening here. If the police want to stop money from you, they will put the fear of they will tag you IPOB or ESN. My brother, I'm not fabricating it. It's not a fabrication. It is what is happening today.
Okay, now the question I want to ask you again, because I was asking about what is going to be the solution to this. Now, you see about the issue of referendum that people are trying to discuss and to see how it's going to be. If peradventure today, the federal government of Nigeria now said, today, let people have the right to conduct referendum. If you want to live or you want to, anyhow you want it to be, you people have the right to conduct a referendum. Will that stop all this war going on?
But you're talking about referendum. Do you know that I'm talking to you? There's a referendum going on in Biafra land. Are you aware?
But that referendum is not, something that is in alliance with the state you are agitating to, that you are going to live. You understand?
Are you aware there's a referendum? I understand you, yeah.
Yes, I've been hearing about that. But the question I'm trying to answer is that at the end of the referendum, what next? Because that is not, a general referendum that everybody should be aware of, that should be constitutionalized, that yes, these people have the right to do the referendum.
My brother, the battle we are fighting now is if Nigeria wants to give a referendum based on human rights, fine and good. But if they choose otherwise on war, if they want war the way it's happening today, my brother, we are ready. We are ready to face Nigeria.
Are you serious? Don't you think that through this issue of referendum, that is just going to be the best?
You're talking about referendum, ordinary election, local government election. You know how it used to be. Ordinary local government election. Look at the election you had 2023. My brother, sometimes most of you people, I'm not talking about you. When I see some people talking about Nigeria, I don't see them as human beings. I'm sorry to say this. I don't see most people as human beings.
Why?
Because when you think of what is happening in Nigeria, especially what happened during the election, before the election, during the election, after the election, until today, someone still regards Tinubu as a president. How? Do you know what happened during the election? Everybody saw what happened during the election. Everybody saw how PVCs we have been thrown inside gutters, being discovered inside forest. And these are Igbo PVCs. Fine and good. We said no problem. This is how Nigeria wants it. No problem. Okay. During the election, let's see how it goes. You know how it happened, brother. It is in the open. Go to the internet. Nigeria can never work. And Nigeria has never worked. And Nigeria will never work. Let everybody, even regional.
I can hear you. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. Talk to us.
Let every tribe go back to their region. You can have whatsoever name you want to call yourself. You want to be Afro, you want Igbo nation, you want to do the way you want Fulani or want Arewa. Anyone you want to call yourself, it's good for you. It's not because we hate anybody. Let me tell you, brother, Igbos are the only people in Nigeria that love Nigeria more than the people they claim that they are Nigerians. And we are not doing it to please anybody. That is who we are. Igbos are not only in Lagos. My brother, they say that any place you go, this is an Igbo man. What do? Just leave that place. It's not because we are looking for where to go. That is who we are. We love to explore.
All right. The last question I'm going to ask you before we come to the end of this program is that I really want what is going on in Imo State there to be on social media. And I've been trying one way or the other to make sure we have one or two people who we act as correspondents there. But everyone, they are afraid of doing that.
Dude, see, I don't know how to explain this to you, brother. We in the East here, my brother, we are targets to the federal government. We are not human beings to them. You see this program you are doing now? You are going live. People know your face. Yeah. My brother, if I should start sorting Imo State to enlighten the people what is happening here, my brother, people will come for me. They will come for me. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to die. Because we have been the victim since they want it today. We have been the victim to today. I'm telling you that if police want to extort money from you, brother, they will profile you IPOB or ESN. Immediately, they will just profile you IPOB immediately ESN. So when you see people that have such mentality, even the people that are supposed to protect them is against them. So how do you expect them to talk? Okay, there was this radio OAP, Nosonkwa, in Imo State. It's a popular OAP on one radio station. After this, there was a trend in Twitter that Igbos must go. He made a video telling people how Lagos was developed, how Igbos contributed. And I know how people came for him. And this what I'm talking about now has so many issues with Uzodimma. This man has been arrested several times. He has been threatened several times. He has been humiliated several times by this same government of Uzodimma. His name is Nosonkwa. He's a popular OAP in Imo State here, Sowore. Everybody knows him. So, my brother, we are living in fears in our own father's land. We are living in fears in our own father's land.
All right.
From here to here, checkpoints.
All right. So, as I promised you before, my own goal is to make sure that what is going on in Imo State and some part of the southeastern Nigeria will be on media, even though it's not on these bloggers, but let's get a mainstream media to the southeast to cover what is going on, because I was so surprised when someone told me that a gun battle has been going on for days and like what is going on, people are not reporting it. So I was surprised to hear that, and that is one of the reasons why I said no. I think it's important we start inviting people out from the area to tell us what is going on, and also start having coverages from the area, because there is an untold story about the issue in the southeast that we want to unfold. And as I talk to you, currently the issue in the southeast is complicated. There is a war ongoing, gun battle here and there, and the casualties that they're having almost every week outnumber the casualties people from the Gaza, Ukraine are having in 3 months or 6 months, and it seems that no one is interested to talk about all these things. So I think it is time for us to start reporting and also do more investigation. I think more investigation is needed in this cause. So our brother, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and your courage as well, because I've reached 1 or 2 people who told me that they are afraid that if they should come and grant even a phone call with me, that they are afraid of.
You think I'm not afraid? You think I'm not afraid? But you know why I granted this interview? The reason why I granted this interview is because of the belief and trust I have in you. You in particular. Because you reason the way I reason. My brother, we are scared. Me too. Yes, I have the courage, but I'm scared too.
It is well.
Even the first time I called you with my number, up to now, I'm still scared if you might send me out.
No, you should not.
Honestly, I'm telling the gospel truth.
You should not. You should
so,
not.
Before I conclude, I want to tell Nigerians, and my fellow dear friends that care less to know that there is a second Biafra war going on right now, and they should expect more of what happened last week or what has been happening before. Now, Marcel has made it clear that the Liberation Army is commanding will soon be on the streets.
So you are directly saying that Simon Ekpa is part of the people causing it.
He's the
like the people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If you go to his S handle, just go there, scroll. Just scroll. You read for yourself.
I will do more. I will do more investigation on that. But my plea is that the innocent people are dying, and we want them to stop dying.
Brother, Gaza, go to Gaza. People are dying every day. Go to Europe, people are dying. Africa as a whole, people are dying today. As I'm talking to you, go to Congo. Go to Nigeria, even here, Nigeria. Here, people are dying every day. Happen to be heard how armies are killing people in the north, air bombardment, this and that.
It is well. It's so unfortunate anyway. It's so unfortunate. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, my brother. You know, I have taken your time. Thank you for your time, your sacrifice, and your courage, you know, for having the boldness to come and speak to us. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. All right.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and have a nice evening.
All right. Thank you.
So thank you, viewers, for joining us. Still, we are talking about the issue of the insecurity in the southeastern part of the country, especially the Imo State. A lot of things have been going on there, and the purpose we have now is to make sure we bring what is going on in Imo State to the mainstream media or social media. Because even on social media, you can't even find what is going on. Only few people will just post it, and everyone is afraid to talk or post what is going on over there. Earlier on, you're listening to the governor of Imo State. What he said is that is the cause of the insecurity going on. But the citizens of Imo State have their own narrative about what is going on. They have their own story. And don't forget that if you want to tell a story or talk about what is going on in your area, you can chat me up on WhatsApp through the WhatsApp number on the screen, so that I will schedule an interview with you. You come and tell me what is going on in your area. Together, I believe we can make this world a better place. Thanks for listening, and have a good evening.